how to get back.
Oh, I think I can do that.
The left?
Back to where?
Back to the Agape. Can't go left, so we go right.
Well, actually, you could have went in the alley.
Really?
Yeah, we came back out on the other street, but that's all right.
Okay, we'll just go the long way.
Yeah.
Oh, kids playing kickball. I remember those days.
Yeah, good old days. So, Jean, you know what we noticed the other day when we were walking up and down your street taking pictures? We noticed that there's like no kids outside. Where are all the kids? Are there just not very many kids on that street?
We used to have kids. I have 2 on one side of me, between my house and Steve's, and there's some 2 doors from me on the other way, and that's about the only kids in the block.
Yeah.
They all grew up, and then they came back. Like Steve was the kid in the block.
Oh, now he's
He's the first one I met. And
now he's the adult.
now you can make a right at the corner. And the next corner a left, and then you'll know where you are.
Perfect. Yeah, I get turned around pretty easily.
Yeah. I could find this. Oh, I forgot my notebook. I'll test my memory.
Seems to be working pretty good so far.
Yeah. Well, I was doing all this on top of my head the other day. See, this was St. Albert's, now Thurston Woods. That was the school and the church. And behind there, where everything is, used to be a tavern where the post office is sitting. It was Clark's Woods, and then they turned it into the Copper Hearth. They had put another building in there, and they could dance in there.
Did you go there?
Oh, sure.
That's where you went after bowling?
Yeah, anytime.
Anytime?
Anytime, yeah. Went to weddings there, I think.
You don't need an occasion to visit the local tavern, that's for sure.
Now, here's where we're going to find a lot of changes. This building used to be called the shopping cart. It was grocery store, and next to it here was the drugstore, Paler's Drug. Across the street was the beauty shop and a cleaners and the laundromat. Those are the changes.
Oh, wow.
This church was the same. They put new they redesigned these here and put new porches and tops on them over the years. Now it looks nice. Oh, yeah. But that guy I met, Steve, when I first met him, he was the kid across the street. He must have been about 13 years old. And he said, lady, he says, I found your car.
Where was it?
It was on the street, but it had snowed so high that you couldn't see.
Right.
Yeah. Well, can't you park there?
It's right here. Okay.
We're just gonna stop and get her charger thing.
Oh. Yeah, that's, I forgot what I was going to say.
You found your car?
Yeah, he says, lady.
So
now he grew up, and now all of a sudden I'm looking at him about 2 doors down, and I'm saying, what is he doing there in Lynn's house? He was the auto mechanic on the corner of 35th and Silver Spring, and I'm thinking, what is he doing? Here, he went on a date with her, and all of a sudden, then he went, and then she said, do you want to have a cup of coffee? And he never left the house, and he moved in. And he left his mother all weekend wondering, girlfriend? I didn't know he had a girlfriend, because that's what
surprise.
Right.
And there he's been all these years. Then he married her. She had MS, and she knew it, and his mother is a nurse. So she told him what he was in for. Well, I guess he was married about 19 years before she died.
Oh, wow.
And then she ended up having to go in a nursing home. But
So I'm looking at this, and it says 161 minutes of battery, which is okay, but the memory card's only got 24 minutes.
Maybe we should,
See if we can clear it somehow.
yeah, see if there's anything on the memory card. I don't know how you would do that, but...
Huh. These newfangled things.
Yeah. So where did you live in the Berryland?
Right behind where we just passed.
Oh.
Right across from the... See, there used to be a playground. And now there is a somewhat of a playground, but... And then I lived across the street from the court. And then
Okay.
I lived there about 7.5 years. And I came in with 2 kids. I left with 3, because your kids had to add to the age of 12 if you had 2 different sexes.
Right, right.
So my boys were 7 and 8 maybe, and 9, 10, 11. So they must have been maybe 8 and 9, and then my daughter was like 3, and we finally got and the only way you got a 3-bedroom is if you, even though you were eligible, you got friends in here, and they say, I'm going to give my notice at the first of the month.
I'll be
She'd
right
go in the
back.
morning at 9 o'clock, 5 after 9, you were in there
Right.
applying for the place because he couldn't back out.
Right. Oh, wow.
And that's how you got a 3-bedroom quick.
It's not in there.
Oh. Well, I guess what what Monica had just found out is that we have enough battery, I guess, but she says that it's the memory card that
Okay.
only has 24 minutes left.
Okay.
So I don't know where she just ran off to, but she said that she was going to be right back, and so maybe she's going to clean off a memory card. I don't know.
Well, it's just no good because I plug my phone in on the drive home when my battery is just about dead because it always seems to die. So that won't be good.
Yeah,
I don't
right.
have that. I don't know what I
Yeah.
did with it. It was in the car yesterday. Maybe one of the kids took it out.
Kids.
Kids.
Can't live with him, can't live without him, just like a
Right?
husband.
Right? Love them, but sometimes.
I have a question for you. You said that you used to go dancing over at that building?
Clark's Woods, yeah.
Yeah. What, did you go with your husband or did you have...
Sometimes.
Sometimes?
And we would have couples that we all went with. Sometimes we went as a group with our bowling team, and we'd go in there after bowling. We never just came home. We
Right.
started the early shift. We started 6:30,
Oh,
so then we were done by 9 or so, and then we'd take off and go decide where we were going.
nice.
Yeah.
Nice. That's awesome.
Did you
And
do
the-
the jitterbug?
Yeah. Oh, learned that in high school. Yeah. When I was in high school, we went. Oh my God, we did the Charleston and the jitterbug and of course, the waltz, foxtrot, and the polkas, and there you just danced every single dance. Never sat down until they took their break, and then we saw the best. That was at the Eagles Club downtown. And none of us were old enough, but they never questioned us. They went around the whole table sometimes, and then they figured, oh, forget it. They got to me and decided, forget it.
Right.
But most of us were drinking soda, so they didn't bother us. We came in all the time. They'd take our money.
Yeah.
They let you in
Whatever,
there, you know.
yeah.
So they never carded us ever.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
we
It's
didn't-
kind of funny. Like nowadays.
And the roof, there was a roof that all the sailors came to that place. That was on the avenue. So was the Eagles, and then there was the Rendezvous. We used to go there,
Ooh.
and then my friend's dad owned it, so we would go there.
Is that another bar or what is that?
Yeah, it's a building. It turned into a dance hall. They had wrestling on Friday nights. They had boxing,
Oh wow.
and whenever we had nothing else to do, we'd just hang around there. And it didn't cost us nothing to get in.
Right. Huh. So it seems like the majority of these places that you used to hang out at or used to visit are gone. You know, or
The Eagles Club, I think, is still there, but I don't know if it's run by the Eagles anymore.
Yeah.
The building was there because I was there not too long ago. Oh, maybe a year ago or something. I didn't go in, but yeah, I saw it was there. I think I went to a funeral on the other side of the street.
Oh, geez. Have you noticed that being a change in the neighborhood where, you know, before you had a lot of community places to go and visit and be out of the house and be social? I mean, does that exist?
Years ago we were never home.
Yeah, does that
except
exist
to eat
here?
and bathe and get ourselves ready for the next deal.
Right.
Of course, I went to school at
Yeah.
So when I went to high school, I had 3 different jobs, but we always found town to have fun.
Oh, excellent. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, I used to babysit. I had certain nights of the week, and then after school, with my first job, I worked at Woolworths on 3rd North. Now it's called Martin Luther King. And then that store was only about 9 months old then. And, we liked it during Christmas vacation because we could work all the hours. And they took inventory after the first of the year. We'd stay there till 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock. Get on a bus, go home, get up, be back there again at 8 in the morning. Counting balloons and jacks.
Oh.
I mean, they didn't have anything packaged in those days.
Right.
You want a needle?
And did they have computers to keep the inventory?
Oh, of course not. I worked in the candy department, and right next to it was like Notions, where they had embroidery thread and all that kind of stuff, yarn, and then behind the car they had German ornaments, and so in July we would be selling those.
Right.
I hated putting those up because you're afraid one of those were going to fall and break.
Right.
And of course they never did. And you had to add everything up by hand, whatever they bought, and then they give you the money. You told them how much it was, and you could not cash a $10 bill, and you had to register that you had to put $9.85 and put all 3 of them at the same time so it would register.
Oh my goodness.
Count back the money yourself, so you better know math.
Right?
Not like these kids today. They just put in the money and it tells them how much, and then sometimes they don't know how to count it out either.
Yeah, right? Oh.
But $10, you used to have to call the floor lady and she'd come to cash out your $10 bill.
Wow.
Not once did they ever come to me and say, "You were short a nickel," because I could just see them coming. "You were short a penny or something."
Right.
Or over. That would probably be just as bad. Not once. So I figured, well, I must be doing it all right.
Right. You know what's going on. You got it. Yeah.
Imagine how antiquated that stuff was in those days. Oh.
Yeah, it'd be.
Oh, yeah, I worked at a
different.
bakery around here on Douglas Road, too. They had what's the name of it?
I don't know.
It'll come to me. Anyways, we used to work there and put the cherries on the streusels at Christmas and pack all the cookies in the boxes in a certain way.
Yeah.
Heinemann's.
Heinemann's.
Mm-hmm.
I love baking. I used to.
Then they used to have a glove company there, and then a warehouse. Hanson Storage, now they're on Tetonia.
All right.
What
Sorry
was-
about that.
What was the love
all-
company? What was the love company?
Glove company was Hanson Storage,
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
and they moved now to Tetonia in about Bradley Road.
Was that all, part of your neighborhood? Did you?
Well, no, but you have to go to the stores, and you pass these places all the time. My husband worked there for a while.
Okay.
He worked there one of the worst years of my life. He ended up working second shift I had a new baby.
Oh.
The boys started the Catholic high school, grade school over there at St. Albert's, what was.
Oh, yeah. You said with the nun, right?
Yeah.
Oof.
And so I couldn't wait for that year to be over with. Try to keep boys quiet.
Yeah.
And then they came home for lunch.
Was that common in those days?
Oh, yeah.
No lunch at school?
Oh, yeah. What lunch? Oh, and then when the kids went to high school, then they had it over there. Then they had, see, one of the people that moved over in this block that used to live in Berryland, boy, a lot of them just stayed in the neighborhood.
That's kind of nice that...
Oh, and this, wait, back up once. Those, not this house, but the two of them behind there. This was in the papers also. I worked for the architect that built this home and this home, and it's the same architect that built the domes.
No way.
Richard Grebe, I think it was. And I had done some typing as a temporary job. I didn't know it was going to be temporary till they said, oh, that's all now, you know. And then I tried to collect unemployment. But these homes are built with styrofoam block.
What?
They're all high energy efficient. They were built because they wanted my picture in the paper holding one of the blocks, but they never got that far.
What year were those built, Gene?
Oh my.
Sounds like something from the 70s.
I was wondering if they were in the 80s. It was quite a new thing, and I don't know.
Do you know why they decided to build energy efficient homes?
Yeah, they were into energy. They wanted to have things that were energy efficient.
Was
Those
that
are the
specific
only
to the
two
80s?
that I know that were done that way, and then they sold them relatively cheap.
Nice.
No, I can't remember what year that was. But that's very historical. I mean, because they never did any more like that,
Right.
and they were happy to get them sold.
So they didn't sell.
And I
They
think
didn't sell
it
quick.
had to be in the 70s or 80s, because I think I was already in my house then.
Yeah. It was an interesting time back then, you know.
Oh yeah.
So I heard a rumor that they converted a lot of the Berryland apartments into like one bedrooms, or
Yes.
how do you...
A lot of them started out 2 bedrooms, and some of them started out 3 bedrooms. But they started running out of 3 bedrooms. Like I told you, I had to be on the list, you know.
Right.
One of these buildings here. Oh, that down there was where that Heinemann used to be, and that Hanson Storage. And I had my dining room table stripped. There's one of these companies here. Maybe it's this woodwork one. And they stripped my furniture, and then I refinished it all.
Oh, you were finished it yourself?
Yeah,
Oof.
but they dipped it. And
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And then you sanded it down.
What's Panslavia Chemicals?
Oh, didn't know that was there.
Huh. So you're saying that some of these buildings would have been the storage unit, the storage, and the...
Oh no, it's very at the end. It's real long.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Quigley Tax Institute.
That might have been somewhere that Quigley might have been one of the buildings that was the baker.
Oh, okay.
Heinemann's. Here's the building.
Oh.
See how big it is?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That used to be Hanson Storage. My husband worked there. It was hard to keep the kids quiet and get them all ready. Then by the time he'd want to go, and my daughter fell asleep after crying for I don't know how long it was, her colic for days.
Colic. this area.
Now that's a daycare now, Dreamland Daycare, but this all was pick and save.
Really?
Yeah, they had a pick and save here.
So you could just
And-
walk to the grocery store.
Yeah. But they closed it up. You couldn't get through there anymore. And then they added some stores in there. And now they got Save a Lot and Family Dollar. And that's where we go to get our driver's testing and all that is in there. And the unemployment office was over there. And now all these buildings here these 2 apartments are all boarded up for whatever reason. They were just bad.
Like dangerous?
Yeah, I think they had a lot of bad people in there. And then they built this beautiful church here out of nowhere. And they didn't build enough parking for it, so they all park on the street. Oh, so that house over there, that second house, is my daughter's house. That's how close she is. She's got the boys.
This
This-
tan
yeah.
one?
Yeah, it was a blue one, but they just had it sided this last year. Yeah,
Okay.
that's where my grandsons and daughter and son-in-law live.
Nice.
So they can walk over. They a lot of times do. They walk with the dog, and then I have to have a bowl out.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that's great that they live so close to you.
Yeah.
Where
Was
else
that
should we go?
original to the development in this area?
Whoops. Huh?
Your daughter's house? Was that original to the developments in this area, like your house?
Yeah.
Was it?
Yeah, I think so. This used to be a church over here too.
The Jared Bruce Academy?
Yeah, so if that's what you say. Yeah, everything used to be. I used to know everything.
Huh. Fascinating.
But they had some grants for people on 35th Street to Sherman Boulevard and from Douglas Road to Flores that they would allow you to have so much money.
Uh-huh.
But you had to live in the house for X time, and so you could put home improvements. Now these apartments here were all built they were hoping for seniors.
Mm-hmm.
And none of the seniors applied because they were over at Berryland, because they opened it up
Oh,
to
right.
seniors and veterans, So then it turned out to be pretty trashy.
And so up here is where St. Albert's was, right?
Yes,
And this is where you used to go to church.
yeah. Even when we lived in Berryland, I had my kids baptized and
You know what?
First communions, confirmations. My oldest son got married there.
So was it? Did it always have this face, or did it look more like a modern Catholic church with the Gothic style?
Nope, this was the front of it, and that was upstairs is where the school was. The downstairs was the church,
Okay.
and in the basement they had an auditorium.
Oh,
That's where the parties and different functions
Sure.
would be.
I noticed that these houses look a lot like your house
Yeah,
on the left,
That's right.
but then these don't.
No,
What happened here?
the subdivision that we have is different from this one.
Okay.
Ours used to be called Cedar Forest. And then the next one was like in the middle of the block on 34th Street. They don't have trees. Like if you went down the next block, they don't have trees. They don't have sidewalks because this used to be Granville and then North Milwaukee. This was written up in the paper several times.
Okay, so Granville, North Milwaukee, and then when did it
And then
become
it became-
Thurston Woods?
I don't know when they find if it was always that or not. The mayor that used to be here, he lived on that corner, the left, way down on the 34th Street.
Okay. Should we go that way?
Sure. And across the street here on the left, that brown house was bought and built by an architect.
Okay.
And it's log cabin.
No
Yes.
wonder it looks so different.
Yeah, he added on over the years. Now this house right here used to be the Mayor Meyer.
Okay.
And
this
see how
was-
these streets don't have any sidewalks, and half of the other one. This one will be a dead end, yeah. But aren't these homes pretty in here?
Yeah, it's interesting. So
Yeah.
these are all
Every kind of a home.
individual.
Yeah. Now, oh, this lady and man died in that house where that truck is there.
Okay.
And he gave, oh no, here his house is. Here.
This one?
Yeah. And he gave me all his fine china that he had from his wife, because I went over to watch his wife one day so they could go see the husband, or
Oh,
I watched the son. I forgot how it went, but. And so he was getting, he knew if he found out he had a brain tumor, and he knew he didn't have long to live, and his wife was in the nursing home already.
Okay.
And so I guess he had me babysit his wife while he went to see his son who had mental illness. So he gave me all this china. It wasn't pretty. I still have it.
That's amazing.
My kids don't know that story. Well,
Yeah, it's interesting because
and there's
we've
Steve.
heard different stories around the neighborhood about how some people don't feel connected to the neighborhood, but
Really?
yeah, but it seems like you really feel connected. You know.
Yeah, I know who used to live here. There, my sister lived in that house. Brought her here from Kansas, and the house was right. I knew that the price was right. I called her up. She had just been here about 2 weeks before that for Thanksgiving. I called her up. I said, "Hey, found a house for you. The price is right." They were selling it for $39,000.
Huh.
She offered them $40,000, and they took it. She had just inherited some money, and so.
So we can go down the alley.
Sure.
Okay. So she just inherited some money.
Yeah, from some man, a veteran they used to take care of and take him out every Sunday, give him a ride, and they looked after him.
Oh,
And so they got $40,000 and they put it in there.
it's amazing.
Yeah. So basically, they got a house for free.
Right. Right.
Yeah, look at this. Some people take good care of the garages, others don't.
Yeah, I noticed this one looks pretty nice.
One time I went to a neighborhood meeting, and me and my neighbor, Steve, we went and told him that we need to have a clean sweep of this alley. So they came through, everybody had to replace broken this and broken that, and if they didn't have an address up on there, or they needed to replace a board or put in a new thing, that's how you keep your neighbor. And then we had 2 garages tore down
Oh wow.
because they were an eyesore.
Yeah.
Now I guess you could go up to Villard, up to 35th Street left,
Okay.
and see the different changes there.
Do you think that that's a major part of living in this neighborhood?
Yeah.
That people need to be educated on how to maintain.
Yeah, they
their...
had shoemakers, and they had 3 different hardware stores. You know, because a lot of people, when they moved in here, couldn't afford a car, and they depended on the buses. And so everything they had to do, they carried in their hands, you know.
Yeah.
But we're talking 1950, these people moved in here. And the furthest the buses came, well, they finally did come out to Florist. But that was as far as they went. At one time, when I first moved out here, they only went to Villard.
Is Villard straight ahead?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, and if you wanted to see Silver Spring here, there's quite a bit of changes. This used to be a gas station, that yellow building.
That was a gas station.
Yeah, my neighbor ran that. And here, now this tavern here is called Mike's Place. This was many years ago Pete's Place. Then it became, I don't know, there was the Cozy 1, 2, and 3. And then now it's changed hands again. In the middle of the block, you see that extension?
Yeah.
That used to be Bob's Place. That was another tavern. And on the other corner, there was another one.
So this was like the nightlife corner.
Yeah. Yeah, and each one of them had different kind of a group that would come in. And across the street is Joe's Cafe. They have been written up so many times in the journal.
Okay.
And on the other hand, she retired now, but her son still and daughter-in-law run it. And the next door was the barber shop. He just went out a year ago. And then they had that Silver Spring Tap over there too at the end. Hardware.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, and there was a poodle place that would, a pet supply place, a grooming. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. I forgot the name of it. It was a grooming. We used to take our dogs in there. We had poodles. And there was a woman, Joanne's, and she would do all the tailoring and hemming of stuff. And this park was this was Smith Park that we just passed, and that had a little wading pool, and then they had a bigger pool for the bigger kids. But that wading pool was only like 2 feet tall, you know.
Oh, yeah.
It was real nice because the mothers could stand there with their kids and watch the kids, and the other older kids didn't come and splash and all that. So you could get the kids' confidence. Nice. Oh yeah, this used to be a store. We had an AMP at one time. I don't know if you even know what an AMP.
No.
This was the library.
Okay.
And then this was True Value Hardware.
Huh. So this is Villard.
This is Villard now.
That's
you
pretty
go up
far
one
away.
end or the other because there's been changes.
Okay.
This one used to be a pool hall on the corner.
This
And
one.
I choose to, they hated me because I'd go in there and chase all the high school kids out of there. And then I'd say, you go home and you get back to school, I'm calling your mother. And then this used to be another bank, Guardian. They took down the whole building. One day I drove by, where'd it go? This was the old post office.
Oh, wow.
And then there was an IGA store over there on that side.
Okay.
And then here was Globe Union, which turned that building over there on 34th. I used to work there too, and it turned into Johnson Control. I'm not sure what it is right now.
Right.
And
Wow.
then there was the VFW across the street here. That was all. I belonged to that. I still belong to the group too, but they moved. And then there was a frozen custard stand here, where the CVS is standing.
Okay.
And it was just. Yeah, and then I think there was a gas station on this corner.
So you would walk down here, or you would bus down here to hang out?
Most of the time we walked, but no. By the shortly before we bought the house, I bought myself a car, and it was a Rambler.
Nice.
Then didn't turn around. Yeah, if you want to make a turn around again and go back up the other way.
I think we should.
There's the show house, and then we'll look about the right side of the street too, because they had jewelry stores up further past 35th Street, eye doctors, a restaurant, and then it turned a dime store. Yeah, they had even a sausage, the homemade sausage, and a shoe repair. You don't see those anywhere anymore. People just replace all that now.
Yeah, that's true.
And the hospital was down here about 25th Street, and we're on, I don't know, 31 maybe.
Yeah. Huh.
So they pretty much use the same buildings around here and then repurpose them to other things?
Well, no, like the drugstore was all brand new from the old building, you know. I mean, where that CVS, see now this, they just put on a different front, but that has a big hall. We used to have corn roasts and picnics and paper drives.
That was the VFW?
Yeah.
Okay.
And this was Lakeside Bridge and Steel. I don't know what it is now. They went out. And this was the old library. They just built this new one here this year. And then upstairs, one of these buildings, we see here was a hardware store, Ace Hardware.
Okay. Where that gate was?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah, and there was a seafood place, and there was a bike shop, and a sporting goods. Oh yeah, there. And I guess we passed the sausage. Here's where the show house was. On each side there was doctors, Dr. Bine. Oh, and here was Wilbert's Bakery, very famous. That was in the papers several times too, and that's no longer. This was the First Wisconsin Bank. This has changed names a couple of times since then.
So this would have been considered. So this would have been considered part of Milwaukee, right?
Yeah.
And then where you were living.
Maybe at one time it wasn't.
Uh-huh.
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Maybe before my time. And here, this Pabst restaurant, everybody knows everybody. You would go in there and have a seat, you know. You need, and now it's an appliance thing, but that sat empty a long time. But that station, I think that was one of the mobiles years ago. And that on the corner was a bowling alley, and I think it's a daycare or something now.
It was the Pabst restaurant, i.e. the Pabst Brewery?
Mm-mm.
Not affiliated?
No, it was PAPS. And this one, this takes you to, like Hercules is still there, the company I work for. They are chemicals. And now they see this old building was the old one, and now they built the new Cousins here. And that they just built about 2 years ago. I don't think this is gonna go anywhere, but
Yeah. I was like, oh, I want to pull over for a second and let some traffic go by.
oh yeah,
People are not.
yeah, oh
very
yeah,
happy
because
with
they
us.
don't like people browsing around. Everybody's in a hurry, don't you know?
Yeah. So do you want to continue to the right or to the left?
Oh, sure. Either way,
Either way.
Sherman's got the end. That's probably where I said the end of the
Neighborhood.
neighborhood is kind of Sherman,
Okay.
because Berryland is into the Sherman. Oh, and then Hopkins used to go through. They built, when I lived there, they had put Sherman all the way through. It didn't used to go through. They had angle it, and it turned into Hopkins, like the back of Haven Woods there.
Oh, so they did that when they put up Havenwoods? Or like just constructed Havenwoods? Or when did
No,
they do that?
that was still the military was there. The military.
When did they cut off Sherman?
Oh, this used to be a car wash or something. This was nothing. I don't remember. They just built this year. What did you ask me?
When did they cut off Sherman?
Extend
Oh,
Sherman.
maybe 1960s. Because when they had the riots. Oh yeah, this used to be a Dog and Suds over here.
Oh,
a
that's
restaurant,
nice.
and right here is where our kids went to sub the papers. And here was the park on this side. This is a big, beautiful park. That's where I go to the senior center.
Is that McGovern Park?
Yeah, that's McGovern Park. It's a very big park. It goes all the way to 51st Street.
Huh.
So you were talking about Sherman Boulevard and the riots in the 60s.
Yeah, when Father Grappi tore people from apart, really. He didn't do any favors for any of us. He really did a lot of segregating instead of trying to get the people together. See, the park starts about here, where all the trees and stuff. I mean, not the park, the Haven Woods.
Okay. So
And they'll have a sign in there too that says State Forest, Haven Woods.
So are you saying that the riots in this area were race related? Because
No, they weren't bad here. The whole city was shut down, but the They were on the south side, and they marched across the bridge from the south side to the north. There's the plaque.
Oh yeah.
And then if you go in the left lane, then you can get to see where they used to make us go to around there for Hopkins when Sherman didn't no longer.
This place right there?
Yeah, remember there used to be a house and a barn here too. Tornado came down the street and took that. I was upstairs putting my kids to bed, and all of a sudden, this big black cloud came right down Sherman Boulevard. Didn't know what it was.
My goodness.
It's that dark, pitch black. So I never knew until the next day how close I was to a tornado.
Right.
I could have stuck my finger out the window.
Ah.
Imagine that.
No. Yeah, we haven't.
I used to live in this court too, which was on the Sherman side. Everybody knew everybody.
This
Oh,
one right
Schultz
here?
has lived here. No, I lived that third building over
Okay.
on the Sherman side. Oh yeah, and this wasn't all closed in here.
No?
No.
You could see
In
through
fact, when you see going into the alley here,
Yeah.
well, right across was where the troops all came out with all their equipment, and they came through here, and they had all the military soldiers lived up there, the officers in these buildings. My kids had the court there and there for all the newspapers that we delivered. And
Oh, go on.
yeah, and then they had a jail up there, and the kids used to go up there and when they were taking it all down, and they would steal the copper. The one boy that used to live right here, no, in the next building, he died. He got electrocuted.
Oh my goodness.
We used to tell the kids, don't go up there, don't go up there, don't go up there. Well, you can't tell boys nothing.
Right.
So here, I think is this.
you
Yeah,
wanna go
here's
in?
where you can go in, and then they have another park up there. That's the one that the kids used to go to play baseball.
Do you want
Just
to
to
drive
baseball.
through?
Oh, sure, you can drive through. They got a building up there too.
Jean, when you first moved into Berryland, the first place you lived, what kind of amenities did you have inside? What was your kitchen like? Did you have laundry facilities?
The laundry and facilities are in the basement.
Okay, so you did
got a
have like
full
a washer,
basement.
dryer.
Oh no,
No.
nobody had a dryer.
Okay.
That wasn't invented then.
Okay.
Right.
And these are the dishwashers. You
Your
carry them
hands?
with you. Yeah.
But it came with a fridge, a stove,
No. You brought your own in.
Oh.
Yeah, you had your own.
so you had maybe out in
That
the...
was none of that was furnished. They furnished the paint, and you could paint, and you could get the paint once a year. And once a year they came around, and they checked you out. That's a nice big building in there. They have a lot of stuff. And one day I came out here with my sister, and we just happened to hit it, and they were doing all kinds of different crafts and stuff. So we just stayed. And then they have hot dogs inside for 50 cents.
Oh,
And
that's nice.
a bag of potato chips for this. And then we had lunch, I think.
Did you see those community gardens right there?
Yeah.
Do you know if a lot of people use them?
Yeah.
Yeah, and so people in Thurston
They-
Woods will go and make community gardens there?
Yep. And they do right across on 42nd, 42nd and Flores too. See, these roads had been here, but there was all these buildings up here. I worked at the PX up here one time making donuts. My friend was the barber, so he'd come up here. He told me about the job, and so he was the barber for the VA, and he would do the inpatients, the ones that were bedridden, the ones that were dying. He had so many days that he worked on them. Other days he worked on and shaved them and everything.
What is this dome over here?
Oh, that looks like the city dome. Oh
That's
yeah,
salt.
that's the city for the salt,
Mm.
and that's where they store the trucks and stuff.
Huh.
So that's the highway division.
Has that always
Yeah,
been
and
there?
this looks like the other end of Hopkins.
Yeah.
Is that Hopkins? Is
Douglas.
Douglas.
And I think We might be on
Oh,
Hopkins.
okay. There's Sherman
Oh, yeah.
to the left.
Yeah. So you said that everybody knew everybody in Berryland, right?
Oh, yeah, in your court. And
In your
then if they moved and they got another court because their families got bigger, then you knew where they moved. Now you got to know their neighbors.
Right.
And all our kids went to the same schools. You know, there was that one on Douglas Road, and then there was one on, here in Monrovia, what I lived on.
Oh, okay.
The parking lot that's between or in the courtyard, was that always there, or is that something that they added later?
They always had parking lots.
That was always a parking lot. And so did you have like laundry lines that you had
in the
back?
center there. There's all these parking lots.
Yeah. Huh. So you did have some kind of backyard back there.
Oh yeah, and you had to cut your grass and water it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That's nice. It's not how
And they
good-
had terrible screens then. My husband would swear, and every time he was going to do it that day, I'd be gone. I had a reason to be leaving.
Right?
You didn't need to hear him swearing, right?
Yeah. I mean, if he was counting a nail, I would say, "Give me the damn thing," and then I would do it. He was terrible.
Not a handyman.
No.
So even
And
though...
I'm so happy my boys are.
Right.
I can't tell you how happy I am because my boys are. God, they're handy.
So now, even though the government built the Berryland, the people who moved into it were responsible for it.
Yeah,
Right.
see, the government built it for housing for veterans when they came home from World War II. And see, all of our husbands, when I lived here, were all from the Korean War. And then in the last, all these improvements that they finally gotten here, like giving us a shower and putting on some lights in the front and the back and lighting up the parking lot and all simple things that most people take for granted. I had my list every year. I'd give it to them. And then now they finally got everything.
Right.
Now I don't know anybody left there.
What year did you get a shower?
It was after 73 because I never got any of that when I was there.
So you just had tubs?
They started and they started putting in floors in the dining area. Otherwise, you had to put a piece of linoleum down. Otherwise, you're taking care of these hardwood floors and stuff. Oh, right across from that church, that's the family garden. And everybody can go and put stuff in that garden there, like you were talking. Years ago, they called them victory gardens.
Yep, they're coming
During the
back.
war. Yeah.
People
Now
don't want
they
to pay
call
so
them
much for tomatoes anymore.
Yeah, now they call them community gardens.
gardens.
Yeah. They had one up at our center last year, but I found out our director didn't know much about gardening, and I wish I had known she didn't know much, because even if I can't do it, I would have been telling her.
Right?
I used to have everything. Kohlrabi and carrots and potatoes and no, not potatoes. But those are easy to do. You just cut them up and quarter them and make sure it's got an eye on it and stick it under the ground.
Right.
And then it'll grow.
It's good to know, yeah. I feel like gardening's a lost art.
I think people are finally getting back to it again,
Yeah.
and without chemicals.
Yeah.
We didn't have chemicals. We had to pull everything out. If there was a weed, we pulled it out.
That's kind of the pleasure of it too. It's not so bad to be
Yeah.
down in there digging with your hands.
Oh yeah, my hands were everywhere. Everybody'd say, "How can you grow nails and you got your nails in the?" I says, "I don't know."
The dirt was probably good for your nails.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, now here was the church, and then they always had this little garden here, and people help build it, and whoever goes in there, it's right there on the corner, and then they do what whoever wants to take something or garden it or pull the weeds. And this church used to have, before the Agape Center, they used to have the stock boxes here, so you would go there on certain days of the week.
Forest Avenue Church.
That name never changed either.
What's the story with these houses, you know? Do you know?
Oh, what street are we on? 38th? Oh no, we're on. No, we're by the
We're
church.
on-
No, I think we're 40th.
Yeah.
I know
'Cause-
some people.
Did they come in
That
before
moved in here.
or after your houses? Your house.
Oh
I mean, do you remember?
no, I think a lot of these have changed
Oh, okay.
hands since all those years. Older people would die off, and other people would come in, and people outgrew their houses. But it was pretty. When I moved in here, it was pretty much all white.
Mm.
And to tell you the truth, coming through here, I wouldn't know what the ratio is anymore.
Yeah.
I used to have a friend three friends that lived on 38th Street, and then one that lived on 37th. But otherwise, I never had a need. One used to bowl. I'd take her home, pick her up, or she'd come and get me.
Where did you used to bowl? Did we already go past that?
Oh, everywhere.
Everywhere? Down the street?
On Mill Road, and on Echo Bowl on Port Washington Road, red carpet up on 76th and Mill.
How long
Oh,
were-
and then there was another one up on Silver Spring and Fond du Lac.
How long were you a bowler?
Oh, God, I don't know. Oh,
Too long?
yeah. Wasn't
Since
a
you
good
can
bowler,
remember.
but I bowled and I had fun.
Yep.
It seems like bowling was kind of the thing to do, what, in like the 70s and the 80s?
Yeah,
Like
even in the 60s, I bowled when I was working at Woolworths.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody asked me if I wanted to join the bowling. They needed one on their team, so I said, yeah, I don't know how. But then they made sure they got me a book and all that. Yeah,
A book?
a book
What's
on
that?
how
No, I'm just-
to, yeah. And they were some of them were good bowlers, but they were nice to me.
So were there a lot of men and women team, or were they co-ed teams?
I was usually. Oh yeah, there was a bowling alley on Villard too.
Yeah. Wow,
Yeah, the Straw Hut. And of course, my husband knew that place because it was a tavern. So, he was a swell guy. He was good people. Everybody was good people as long as they drank.
I don't think anything's changed there.
No. And that used to be a drugstore over there. Sullivan's is still there, but the two generations have now retired from there.
Wow.
That used to be a hardware store. Oh yeah, now they got another liquor store, which they didn't used to have. There was a liquor store too on Villard. About 37th.
So what else did people do besides bowl? Would they play pool, or
Oh,
were
they
going
went
out to
dancing.
taverns?
Oh yeah,
Dancing?
the pool. All the taverns usually had pool. And what else did they have?
Where would they go dancing?
Some of the taverns. I bowled for one of the taverns on Green Tree, 51st, I think. 50. No, it wasn't 51st. Maybe 53rd. In Green Tree, it was called the Entertainers. That guy's dead too.
Would they have like
And-
live bands at these places?
And yeah, they would just have some group come in, maybe 3-4 guys, and they'd set up. And it was weekends, and then whoever was at the bar
Everyone goes to town, huh?
would go dance, or me and my girlfriends, we would dance, and some guys would come and ask us to dance. Everybody knew everybody. Nobody felt too strange.
Nice.
Yeah. And down at the other really bowling, not bowling, the dance places that were downtown, they, you know what this used to be? This used to be, not Hellman's, some dressing.
Heinz?
They used to have us come in there and taste the dressing, and then they give you 2 bottles of dressing.
Sounds like a
So,
deal.
so a bunch of us would find out when they're doing it, the testing kitchen. And then they let you test this one and that one and that one, which one you like, what you didn't like, and I think it was Henry's.
Huh.
I think it was Henry's.
Was that a local company?
No, it was national. But I think that was their home base. Coke used to be down the street here too, and they're gone now. Had a friend that worked there too. This used to be a school and a church to go on to.
So, do you ever miss the old neighborhood and all the activity that went on? Or do you like the neighborhood the way that it is?
Well, I don't like to see it deteriorating, you know.
Yeah. You think it's going that way?
Yeah, and you know, I used to have a dentist up there above that drugstore that isn't there no more, and a doctor's office, and eye doctors you could get to, especially for people who their time, you know.
Yeah.
They did everything in the community.
Yeah.
They didn't have any reason to have to go downtown for something unless you worked downtown. And I worked everywhere. I worked down on National.
Yeah. Do you think that's going to come back? The doing everything in the community?
I don't know. It looks like they're trying to get things back here again. And the crime isn't real bad here. Of course, I don't know because my son-in-law, who is the Milwaukee Police Department, doesn't seem to want to share any information. So it's like, I'll say, is there something I need to be aware of around here? I don't mean for him to give me names and numbers, but just basically how is it changed? Because my daughter always says, you go to that ghetto station? You go to that ghetto whatever it is, the gas station, the grocery stores, and you go there? Yes, here's the junior high that everybody went to.
Okay.
And it's no longer, again, empty. The grade school that was up on 42nd and Silver Spring, that's empty, Carlton. And the high school is now on Sherman and Villard, and that's turned into something else. All these empty buildings, and we're paying taxes on all this. And then, well, my son works for the school board, and all these empty places need to have somebody maintaining them.
Yeah.
We're paying for the heat of the buildings,
Yep.
for these guys who get paid good money and all their benefits, and those buildings are sitting there instead of selling them.
Yeah.
They need to sell them. I won't mind. I wouldn't be all that upset if I ever had to move from the neighborhood. Boy, that guy almost kissed you.
I know, right? Almost made a friend.
Yeah.
Huh. Yeah.
Where would you like to move in Milwaukee if you moved somewhere? Or would you move out of Milwaukee?
No, I probably wouldn't move out of Milwaukee.
I mean, it
because
seems like you've had a good
everybody I know, a lot of them still live generally in the same area, but like all the people I took care of when I was working for Interfaith, older adult program, those people are all, a lot of them are dead that I used to take care of. I went to so many funerals. I said, you know, you're getting old when the list of your friends that are dead is longer than the ones that are alive. That's how you gauge.
Yeah. Right.
Oh, this park, now this is Smith Park, and they used to have fireworks in the winter, and we used to be able to come here to vote. That was our voting. But they had a small swimming pool, like I told you, and a bigger one, and then they have a building you can rent. That's where we used to vote, and it's real terraced in the back. It looks really nice. It was a beautiful park, and they took all the shrubs away because of people getting raped in the bushes and stuff like that, just to make sure. They've done that to all the city parks.
Yeah, that's smart.
This used to be a Lakeside Bridge and Steel. That was a big, thriving company one time. And now you don't see anything.
So do you think that having the jobs go away has really affected
Oh yeah.
the neighborhood?
Yeah, because our alderman he used to live on the end of our block, and then that was like 4 generations that lived in that. There was the grandma and grandpa, that was Sabos, and then the Conziellas was the alderman, and he moved in here. He died too, of cancer.
Oh.
And then he had 4 kids, and then one of them came back to live there, and then the other one, then she left. She got divorced or something, and then she left, and the other son came in there, and he refurbished that whole inside of the house. And so that was 4 generations that lived there
Wow.
Where was A.O. Smith?
on Capitol Drive.
Okay. But a lot of people.
We're like 5200 block here, and that was on 3940
Capitol.
Capitol, yeah.
Okay. So a lot of people from the community worked at that factory you just saw. And
Yeah,
A.O.
and
Smith.
during the war, that was a big drugstore at one time. We bought all our cards there. This was another.
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of
True-
boarded up,
True
a lot of
Value.
boarded up
Yeah.
businesses. So you think that?
Yeah, it's kind of sad when you drive around slow like this. You really
Yeah.
look. When I'm going someplace, I'm just going. I don't always see all that.
Right.
But
So you think that getting the businesses back will get the right people back in the neighborhood that are going to care about it and?
well, I don't think the old ones will come, but maybe the ones that are in there now might stay and take pride and do stuff. Like we just saw that man trying to fix something there.
Yeah.
People are starting to, and we have all the laws in place. All we have to do is use them.
Yeah.
I come by one time, that whole house was all boarded up,
That's sad.
and look at, there's such nice old homes here. And
Definitely.
they've got new railings, and they're putting in stuff and starting to take pride in that. Because these homes are not very expensive because the neighborhood's not. Our
Yeah.
homes have dropped. Mine just dropped another 8,000 something. So they can say, oh, we're not raising your taxes. No, what you people do is lower the value of our homes.
Yeah.
That's the 3rd year.
Yeah. Yeah, it's hard when the property values drop,
Yeah.
but the taxes
But
don't.
it gives the first-time buyers a chance to buy them. See, that's what our homes were supposed to be. But you couldn't get my husband to move. Not even across the street where they had the kitchen I really wanted. I always
Right,
hated my
right.
kitchen.
So he'd change
'Cause I
jobs,
love
but he
to
wouldn't
cook.
change houses.
Yeah. And he didn't like furniture being moved, but then I look back, his mother was the same way. If she had her couch and it was here, it was going to be there forever. It was never going to move.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So now I know why he got that way. Stupid me didn't know. My mother changed stuff all the time.
Yeah.
Spice of life, right?
Yeah, and we moved every 5 years. That part I hated.
Yeah.
See, now when I moved in this neighborhood, I stayed here for all these years till all my kids grew up. They kept their same friends,
Yeah.
and now I go to the senior center. I see the mothers, and they're there,
Yep.
and we all talk like, oh man. We find out how few of us had any money, how we managed, how we had to work, quit jobs, start again, and hand-me-downs. There was no rummage sales.
Yeah.
You gave your stuff to your sister, your mother, your whoever,
Yeah.
and everybody passed down things. They didn't sell nothing. Nobody had any money. Everybody shared. If you had something and they needed it, you gave it to them.
Yeah, that's not how things are today.
No,
No, everybody.
except for a few families.
Yeah. Yeah. It's true.
Jean, do you ever go to the Several Mills Shopping Center?
Where is that?
on like 54th, and I don't know what the cross street is. I've just heard other people talking about the 7 Mills shopping center. There's a couple of barber shops. There's a little convenience store. There's an Asian shop.
I don't know where it is.
No.
Really striking out on getting back to.
See, and now here's the post office. They bought this and built it. That's where that Clarkswood used to be in the Copper Hearth. And then this was a car lot, and they were empty at the same time. They should have bought that property, at least part of it. Oh, that's a chemical company across the street.
Okay.
They never got our permission to move in here either. All of a sudden, we find all these things out. We go to a neighborhood meeting, and then the zoning board would send us a notice. They turned this building here. It used to be a restaurant, the Red Hen or something, the Rooster, and then they put that into a boys' home or something, and then they wanted that for bad kids or something. And we said no. We had enough stuff around here. Then the next block from us, we found out they wanted to turn it into an all girl. Oh, the house next door to mine. For bad girls. Teen girls. Oh yeah, that's just what we need. No. And then they have no supervision at night. No.
Yeah,
we
not a good
finally
idea.
won one because we all got on a bus and we all went downtown to the meeting, and when they saw all of us, oh, that was a tavern they wanted to close up. We closed up too. No.
Gene, why did the community not want Sigma, this chemical company, to come in? What was the reasoning?
Well, it isn't that we didn't know it. Now, what kind of chemicals? How dangerous if that goes up in smoke?
Yeah.
Are our houses going to go up in smoke? You hear sirens going down to Tonya all the time. You wonder, is that over there?
Yeah.
You know, it kind of worries you when you hear all this and you see clouds of smoke. Like that house that just blew up here.
Oh,
what
yeah,
was
on
going on?
Vliet?
Huh?
On, like, no, there was the business that
in
blew up on
Whitefish
Vliet.
Bay.
And, yeah.
No, the one in Whitefish Bay that was on the other side of, it was on Hampton and the other side of Port Road.
Were they making drugs in that house, or why did it?
No, it was a gas leak.
Okay.
I heard it in my house with my windows closed. That must be about 5 miles away.
Wow.
And that's how loud that was. And I said, in fact, I said to Steve, I said, go outside and see if you see anything or smell any smoke or something. Because it sounded like an explosion. Guess what? It was. And then we found out, yeah, it was.
So you can imagine if something would happen at the
Yeah,
chemical
so when
plant.
as big as that one is, they used to be on Clyburn on, I forgot now, 27th or something. Not too far from the domes. And I applied for that job a couple times. That's why I happen to remember where it was. But and then they built this great big thing. And then they put up these homes for these kids. And they wanted, a bar down here that had more trouble next to the shopping center on just this side of Mill Road, between Florist and Mill Road. And we stopped that. We closed them up when they saw how many of us were ready. And the judge up there looked at all of us. I guess you have too much opposition.
Opposition.
Opposition, yeah.
Hey, did you get any news coverage on doing some of that stuff?
I don't know. One time I went to Madison too to speak for the seniors. We all took a bus.
Nice.
The
Gotta
whole
speak
place
out,
was
you know?
loaded with red shirts from the AARP people that were there, because they want the caregivers to get some money for taking care of these people and let them stay in their homes.
Yeah.
And of course, nothing ever happened much out of it. This is your stuff, I think. Oh no, this is mine out of my purse.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, this is my stuff out of my purse. Well, then what do you know?
I wanted to make sure we got you back here before
Yeah.
lunch, but do you think they came and dropped off your lunch?
You get a
Oh, I
box
put
for
a
it,
note.
right? Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
I put a note and he knows. You don't have to say anything. He just sees a little faded yellow piece of paper and I put it on the nail and then he looks in the box. I got ice in there so he knows what to do.
Nice.
So when is that barbecue that we're doing? Because we're having an event that we'd love for you to come to pretty soon. I think it's
I
next
think it's
week.
Wednesday.
And we're having
Or
like
Saturday.
at the Agape Center, and we're having food, and we're going to talk about what we've been doing so far. So if you want to come,
Oh,
we could come pick you up. And
yeah, that's close enough. Well,
Yeah.
you wouldn't have to come get just tell me when it is.
okay. I think we have
Wednesday?
your phone number, right?
Oh yeah, you must have. What about those forms now?
That's right. We should have you sign those.
You
really
wanted
quick.
to take a picture or something?
Yeah, I might. Is it possible for me to run into your house quick and take a picture of the wall in your bedroom?
Yeah.
And
Oh, by the
maybe-
way, my husband did get gold medals.
Oh,
He
you
was,
lied.
yes, he was in the Korean War.
Ah, yes.
He was in the service for 3 years.
Do you think
Yeah.
we could get a picture of you in front of your house?
I suppose if you want to break the camera.
Oh, Jean.
Oh, and all these here don't get old. Every time you look, I'm on blood thinners. Every time I look, I think, oh my God, now I got another one.
Oh,
Oh well.
let's see. I think you're looking good.